Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games, back with another cool pinball repair for you this evening. We have been waiting to work on this thing for a long time. Check out what we've got here. This is Stern's RAWHIDE, the pinball machine. Now, the first thing that we're going to do on this, we're going to do it a little bit different than how we usually do it. The first thing that we're going to do is actually work on the playfield. Now, why are we doing it all backwards like that? Usually we get the thing running and then we work on the playfield. It's because my brother Joe, I'm Ron, by the way, if you don't know, my brother Joe is going to work this playfield a little bit. He's going to take all of the stuff off, clean it up, get it ready, and he wants to do that tomorrow morning. So I figured I would film a quick little video showing the shape that it was in before he comes in and starts working on it. So here we go. Now, there's a lot of wear on it. Not a lot, but there is wear on it that we're going to touch up and make look a lot better. If you don't know, I really like the Stern games, even these old EMs. This is essentially a Chicago coin game. I don't know if they designed it or if Stern designed it, but Stern purchased Chicago coin around this time and, kind of finished a couple games that Chicago coin had started designing. I believe this is one of them. And then eventually started designing their own games. So this is Stern's RAWHIDE, but I think, I'm not positive, I'll look it up, but I think Chicago Coin actually designed this. So we're going to do the playfield first. Pretty bad wear here, and there is a screw visible through the playfield. I hate when that happens, but it happens. So why is that like that? It's because somebody underneath was attaching something to the bottom of the playfield and they lost the screw, so they put a different screw in it that's too long and it literally went through the top of the playfield. It happens. So we got that wear there. Now over here, I don't know what that's from, but that's straight up damage too. It almost looks like the same thing, but I don't feel a screw there. And then that is just metal shavings from something on the playfield. This has been sitting a long time with the glass off of it, right? Now we bought this probably 2 years ago, something like that, from a gentleman, and he said that it was pretty much working, but who knows? Who knows? We're going to get her working though. You may not think that this machine is much because, it's not a big name machine, but I love these type of machines. These are some of my absolute favorites. So we're going to fix her up. It does have a broken drop target there that I don't know if we're going to be able to get another one. There's not even a drop. It's just a stand-up target. Okay, so it has that wear up there between the pop bumpers. And then we got this down here. So that's kind of what we're starting with. Now, this has yellow on it. Yellow gets ground in dirt on it. It's really hard to get it real clean. We'll certainly get it better than that, but it's not going to be perfect. Okay? So Joe's going to come in. He's going to take everything off the playfield. He's going to clean all of this dirt off to the best of his ability, and then I'm going to paint the missing paint back in. We're going to do that with some water-based acrylic paints, and then spray a little clear coat over the water-based acrylic paints once we're done with them. Check out that cool spinner. Moo. Moo. Look what's going on here. I've seen this before in other games. There is a saucer in there, and so the ball can come in from the front or from the top. Sometimes they'll have a different plastic and it'll be different directions. But it can come in from the front or the top. And look, it looks like from the factory they reinforced this one with a piece of metal just to make sure that the ball didn't kick out. It looks like it kicks that way, actually. So, yeah, okay, that explains it. So the ball kicks out that way. They've made the plastic so there's a hole there, and it must land right there every time it does it. And eventually, it wore the paint away. Okay, so this is what we're starting with. I'm going to pass it over to Joe and let him clean it up a little bit. But this is how we received it. Alright, so this is how it came out after the cleaning. The yellow didn't get all the way clean, but much better. Whenever we wax it too, it'll make it even look better. So you could try to go around and touch all that up. I think that would be a horrible idea. But it does still have wear all in it, see it? You can keep trying to clean with the magic eraser, but you're just taking paint off at that point. So the problem is the paint is all cracked, and so there's like little swirls of dirt down in all the cracks, so you can't get rid of the cracks. So the best you can do is clean it the best you can and then wax it. Okay, so we're going to start doing a little bit of the touch-up, but the first thing that we're going to look at is the screw or whatever it is that's sticking through the playfield. We got to fix that before we touch it up. So I'm going to lift the playfield up and we'll see what is causing that. Okay, so between these 4 coils there is a light, and it is that screw there on the left that holds the light socket in. That's the one that's sticking through. So I'm going to take it out and we'll see if we can put a smaller one in. Might have to spin the light socket around just a little bit so that it has new meat. They cut the tip of the screw off. Let me see if... They cut the tip of the... Look. Let's see how I can show you. I got to show them, Joe. Look. Come on, people. Come on now. What the hell are you doing, people? Look, this ain't even... Come on now, people. Come on now. This ain't even close to the right side. People, what are you doing? Come on now. If it goes all... If it's longer... People... Now think about it. Think about it a little bit. If it's deeper than this, it'll go through the... Come on, people. You can't do that. Look how long... And come on, you could have just not put a screw in it or take one off something else. I mean, come on. We got to stop this, people. I mean, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do about it. All right. Look at this little trick. See, you put the right size screw in it, but now the hole's all screwed up, so you move it to the side a little bit. I think I'll just stop talking there. All right, let's lay the playfield back down. All right, so the screw is no longer sticking through the playfield. It's sticking up just slightly. You could go as crazy as you want with this. You can sand it, you can put wood filler in it and all that. I think it's pretty all right. I mean, we've got a bigger difference on this light insert that we're going to leave than that, so I'm not too worried about it. So the hole I'm going to end up just filling up with paint, basically, whenever I touch up the paint. So, no big deal. All right, so that's that. So the first thing that I always do... Joe, what's the first thing I do whenever I'm going to repaint?
Determine how many colors you're going to need.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Then you get your paint.
Yeah, but no, you skipped a step.
Oh, you black in the lines.
Yep, draw in the lines. That way you can tell where everything goes. All right, so we've got like a teal, like a greenish teal here. It looks very southwestern. Rawhide, I guess that makes sense. There's an orange. There's a little bit of like a cream there. That's the lettering on the 5000. Black, so black, orange, teal, cream. That's 4. And then you come down. All this red we may redo, so that's 5. And then there's the same teal, there's the same orange, and now we've got a little bit of that, what would you call that, Joe? Fuchsia?
Yep. It's
fuchsia. A little bit of fuchsia, and then the black again, and then the cream again. So how many was that? You didn't lose track, did you?
No, I thought you were counting.
I did, but I got side stepped. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 colors.
You see what you did there?
What?
Have you inked in the lines yet?
No.
I was right.
No, I just did that because you told me to. Joe said don't ink the lines in first. Count the colors first. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go get my black acrylic paint pen. Now we're going to use all acrylic paints because they're water-based. You can clean them up easily, and then you can clear over them very easily. Okay? So when we'll start up there, and as we do that, we'll use like the orange. We'll come down here and touch up the orange that we need to, and blah 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 blah. But first, we'll do the black like we talked about. Okay, so I just drew the black lines back in. Now, you could argue that that should be the last thing you do, the last color, but I usually go back and touch it up at the end. The reason I do it first is so that it helps me understand where the colors start and stop. So I'm basically making it a coloring book, and then now I know what to color in. Like it's obvious where the colors need to be now, right? So these are the ones I use. There's nothing special about these. These just happen to be some that somebody mailed me. But they're acrylic, water-based. That way you can clear over them. Right? So we've got these on our website. You can go check it out. Go to lionsarcade.com. There is a link to these on our website. Up at the top, there's a parts page. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we use in our videos, tools and supplies and little minor stuff, and it sends you to Amazon to buy them. But if you go to Amazon and buy anything, either this stuff or anything else, it gives us a tip because we sent you there. So thank you to everybody that's done that. And up here, I drew the 5,000 back in the best I could. You could, you know, everybody keeps telling me to use stencils, use stencils, use stencils. Yes, you can use stencils, but, you know, I'm doing this as a, you know, I got to make money on it, so I can't spend a ton of time on it. And you're not going to find a stencil that's that exact font. You're going to, even if you did, it wouldn't be the right size and all of that. So you'd have to make your own and print them out and then cut them out and then, you know, takes a lot of time. So I just do it by freehand. But yeah, you could do a better job if you made stencils. And then people tell me to put stickers on it. Yeah, you can do that too. I don't really like putting stickers on the playfield though. So I like the way I do it. But you can do it the better way if you would like. But you can see how it kind of helps you define where the colors need to be. I'm going to, as I put the orange and the cream in and everything, I'll try to straighten that up even more though so it looks even better, and just keep doing it, working it, working it, working it. And then when you're all done, you go back and finish it off with this. Okay, so that's the first little bit. Let's see if we can do the orange first so we can get an idea of how that's going to look. So let me go grab some of my orange paints, and then we'll see if we can mix something together that looks anything similar to that orange. Yeah, what?
It ain't even dried yet. It dries darker.
Joey's saying it's perfect right out of the bottle. What do you think? The orange. So I touched this up over here, but it has a little like physical damage, so you can still see it a little bit. But I don't know. It looks pretty good, Joseph. I think you might be right. All right, so it appears to be Canyon Orange. Now, Joe is saying that they called it Canyon Orange because it's supposed to go on this game because this is Stearns Rawhide.
Exactly.
So it's like they could have called it Stearns Rawhide Orange.
Yeah.
But that would be illegal. You'd get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
So they called it Canyon Orange. That's probably right. That's probably the reason. So if you're doing a Stearns Rawhide, Canyon Orange seems to be a pretty good match right out of the bottle. Okay, so I'm going to do the orange and get that out of the way, and then we'll be done with that, and then we can move on. But notice I did the easiest one first, the smallest one, because we're trying to get our skills up here to do the real bad ones. All right, we got our orange in, and then let me tell you about this wonderful product called Razzleberry. I've done about 15 machines that have this fuchsia color, and it's always Razzleberry every time. Doesn't matter who made it. They must have all been getting their Playfields silked at the same place, and they all use the same color. So it's still drying, but it's that triangle right there. That's the only place that had any worn Razzleberry. But it's dead on the money. I think what it probably is that our eyes can't tell the difference too easily at that part of the color spectrum, so it just always matches. So, if you need the fuchsia, get Razzleberry. Okay, so now we're going to do the teal, I'll call it. The aqua. The aqua blue. And we'll see how that looks. Alright, so here's where the fun comes in. I don't have a green anywhere near the green. The bluish green. Now, next to blue, you can see just how green it actually is. Without the blue laying there, it looks a little more blue, but, you know. So, we're going to have to make a color. So, I've got Bahama Blue, which is pretty good, but it's so light. I don't like how bright it is. Basically, if you get the color wrong, you want it to be slightly too dark instead of slightly too light. So, I'm going to try to make it a little darker. And then I've got Hawaii. It just don't look right. And then I've got Calypso Blue. Meh, looks nothing like it. And then we've got Desert Turquoise. I kind of like that one. I don't know, it just seems like it's about the same vividness, it's not green enough, okay? So we're going to make this one more like that one. So let me pop the top off, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it in the cap. You can mix it on a painter's palette or whatever, but I just mix it right in the cap of the thing. So I'll show you what it looks like in the cap. Okay, so I put just a little bit in the cap. Okay, you can see it's too blue. We need to make it more green. So I have all these different greens. So which green are we going to use? Well, I've got Sour Apple. Boy, that's a good looking green, but see how bright it looks? It looks, if I put it with that, it's going to make a really bright color, and I don't think that looks that bright. That looks kind of dull to me. All right, so we're not going to do that. And then we've got Festive Green, which is similar to like Kelly Green. It's just a kick-ass green, right? It's green as hell. Too green. And then we've got Holly Green. Boy, that's a rich green there, but I don't know. Man, that might be all right. Then this is Hauser Light Green. But it's so bright. I don't know. I think I might actually lighten that and give me some problems. Okay, we've got Leaf Green. Whoa! Leaf Green. Not bad. It's kind of like a medium green, you know. That might work. A Forest Green. Did you know there were so many greens? See, this is a little better because it's kind of like a muted color. Basically, all this is kind of faded and it's yellowed over the years and stuff. Light Avocado. That's a pretty good one to mix it with, but I don't know. Another Forest Green. And then Irish Moss. But see how vivid it is? It's going to be like right in your face. You know what I think? I got Leaf Green and then Holly Green. I don't know, I kind of like the Leaf Green. So I'm going to drop just a little bit of Leaf Green into that, mix it together and see what we get. Because we're not too far off. Yeah, we're too blue, but it's not crazy. Right? Now you could do the same thing with yellow. But again, you would make it, you'd be kind of lightening the paint. I don't know, I think this will work good. And it's kind of you kind of just mix it up a little bit until you get something that looks pretty good and roll with it. Okay? So I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to drop a little bit of Leaf Green in it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I put a little bit of green in, but it's not too far off, but it's too dark, obviously, right? So now we're just kind of analyzing it just by checking it out. So it's a little bit too green, so let's go back with a little bit of blue, right? So we'll pour a little bit of blue in. Seems like the green was much more powerful than the blue. Okay. Pour a little bit more blue in. I don't know how I can mix this where you can see it good. So now we're kind of trying to go back the other way. Mix it up. Reevaluate what we got. Pretty close, folks. It's too dark, though. A little bit too dark. So is it too green or too blue? Kind of right on the money. It's just too dark. Wonder if the Playfield wood being bare under it will make it light enough that you can't tell. See how it looks on the camera. Sometimes the camera will show me a little better. I don't know what to say. Looks pretty damn good to me. All right, so I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to come back and see what we think. You can blow on it and all that. Ah. I'm the nature boy. I'll let it do it. We'll let it dry on its own, right? We'll let it settle down a little bit, then I'll come back and check it out. But man, that looks pretty good from here, but we'll see. Okay, so I let it dry, and if you go to the side and kind of let the light hit it, it's still slightly too blue, and it's a little bit too dark, but it's close. It's really close. So I want to make it both slightly more green and slightly lighter. Okay, so I'm going to try to do that with the Irish moss. So I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of Irish moss in it and see if that moves it a little more the direction we're trying to go. Okay, so I put a little bit more of the green, which made it a little bit too green, but it was still a little bit too dark, so I put a little bit more of the same blue, which lightened it up a little bit more, and moved it back towards the blue a little bit, and that seems to be pretty good. So all around where it says double there has been repainted, can you tell? And then remember there was wear around all of the rings, or a lot of the rings for the numbers. Now it's still a little bit too dark though. So up here, you can kind of tell a little bit, see it? So where that hole was, I just put a big glob of paint on it. It filled up the hole. So this up here is about done. I think I'm just going to leave it. The number, the 5,000, I went back and I put a little bit of the white back. So the white is not really white. It's all yellowed. So we use buttermilk a lot of times. It's more of like a cream color. So this is white. See the difference? So it's actually a little bit, it should be a little darker than this, but this was the best that we can do usually. So right out of the bottle, that worked. There's a little piece of it here I painted back in, but it's a little bit too bright, so we might have to go back and redo that. And now we're up to, the only thing left really is the red. So the red, this section down here, all looks so bad, I'm just going to try to repaint the whole thing. Okay? So I'm just going to use primary red, which seems pretty close. If you match it to like parts that aren't faded, primary red seems about right. Reds don't mix all that great, it seems like to me. Whenever you start mixing them, they just get all muddled looking. It's red I like using right out of the bottle if I can. But on this one we've done pretty good because we've been able to use like 4 or 5 different colors right out of the bottle. All we really had to mix was the teal. So we got out easy. Now you'll notice too that I'm not touching up every little thing on the playfield. You can if you want, but I don't do that because you have to clear everything that you touch up. So I like just clearing a couple little areas instead of trying to clear the whole playfield. You can see I haven't even taken everything off the playfield. Okay, we're trying to do it quick. 3 or 4 hours and be done with it. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can paint in this red, and then we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so this is how we're going to leave it, and then hit it with the clear. I think it came out pretty good. For whatever reason, the teal or whatever down here is a little bit darker than up there, so when I use the same paint up here, it's not quite as good of a match. It's a little bit too dark, but it's all right. And the red, I put a little bit of water in it just to make it thinner, so it's almost like a wash. So whenever you're doing like a big area like that, the problem is you're going to have all kinds of brush strokes. So I just thinned it a little bit so I'd have a little less brush strokes visible. And if you notice, there's stuff all over the place that I didn't touch up. So we're still leaving plenty of wear so they don't accidentally think it's brand new or anything like that, right? The goal is to make it where they can't really tell that you did it if you can help it. I don't know if we're going to meet that goal, but it looks pretty good, I think. So, for instance, right there, there's still a little bit of wear, right? And because we're not trying to get every little spot. So I'm going to clear coat it now. So people always want us to clear coat it on the tape, on the video, and I don't really like doing that because here's the thing. If you clear coat your Playfield and you haven't taken all the wax off of it, you're going to get fish eyes and problems all over it. The clear coat's going to like destroy the finish on your Playfield. So whenever I do it and I'm just working in one little area that we've hit with the magic eraser, I don't have that issue, right? But if you're trying to, typically what we get are people that they've got a machine, it's got bad wear right here, so they want to just fix that and then spray clear coat on it. You can kind of do that, but if you still got any wax on there, you're going to make a big mess. So, but we just use spray paint, rattle can clear coat. We use satin clear coat, just because the finish of these older Playfields was more of like a satin finish than a high gloss finish. So it tends to match. So if whenever I clear it, I'm just going to do this area that we touched up. So I'm going to clear that whole area. So all of this I'm not going to get. And the finish of that, the sheen that it is right now, will match the sheen of this because I'm using satin. Okay. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. I just saw a spot I missed. Oh well, it can't be perfect. Right. So, let me hit it with the clear coat, and then I'll show you what it looks like, or Joe will show you what it looks like tomorrow after it dries. He'll come in and start waxing it and putting everything back on it. We'll film all that for you. So, this is how it looks after the touch-ups. Okay, folks, so this is what we ended up with. Now, it still needs a lot of work, obviously. This is just our first video, but I think the Playfield looks a heck of a lot nicer. So we got most of that out of the way. We'll still have to go back and tweak things and all of that. You know, I confirmed that like the pop bumper lights are working and all of that, but we still got to do all the light bulbs and everything. It's a pretty cool little layout. It's got the little captive ball over here. It's got a heck of a spinner over here that we talked about already. So I'm excited to work on it. These Stern Chicago Coin era games are kind of neat. I like that they were kind of like flying by the seat of their pants. They were just trying to make it happen. So pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. Leave your comments down below. I'll ignore all the negative ones. But we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you on the next video. By the way, we'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, there is a link down below to Amazon. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, use our link, please, and it gives us a tip for whatever you buy. So if you buy anything that you were going to buy already, if you use our link, it gives us a percentage of that. So we appreciate that. And last but not least, don't forget to check out my brother Donnie, which is my brother's channel here on YouTube. If you like watching us work on these old pinball machines, you'd probably enjoy watching Donnie work on old buildings, old cars. We like old stuff. Go check it out. I'm usually over there with him hanging out. So we will see you on the next video. Rawhide.